It is Monday, December 18th, 2023, 7:30 p.m. I call this meeting of the Needham Design Review Board to order. I'm Board Chair Mark Lusing. I would like to confirm that all members and applicants are present and can be heard. So when I call your name, please respond. Bob Dermody.
Here.
Steve Dornbush.
Here.
And also attending our staff person, Elisa Lichman. The applicants on the agenda, there's a special permit for 589 Highland Avenue, 235 Gould Street, Wingate. Sandy, hi Sandy. And there's another item, 317 Chestnut Street. But they have not shown up yet. Okay, we'll see if they do. The orders, welcome to this open meeting of the Needham Design Review Board. It's being conducted remotely, consistent with state orders. The orders allow public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along and follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the Needham Design Review Board is convening by Zoom app posted on the town's website and the Design Review Board page, identifying how the public may join. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. We do have a special permit continued hearing tonight that would allow that. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this board are available on the town's website. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Please note this meeting is being recorded, and please be aware that they're able to see you, and do not screen share your computer unless the chair approves. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. I would like to review the remote meeting procedures for tonight's meeting. I will introduce each applicant on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, we will take comments or questions from the Design Review Board members. After discussion, each vote will be by roll call vote. A copy of your application, stamped and noted for the type of approval that it receives, will be emailed to the applicant by the DRB support staff after the meeting. So we will now start with the first item on our agenda. Give me 1 sec here. I gotta kill this. Phone calls during solicitations during meetings are not allowed. So our first applicant is Wingate is back to we did have a hearing with them at our last meeting, and we continued them to make some suggested modifications, and they have done that. So Sandy, do you want to take us through what you're proposing now?
I am. Basically, you asked for rigid material, so we are giving you a aluminum composite with probably dye bond is what we'll use. We're going to, you asked for white posts. We are proposing, and you can see it on your drawing, we've got the white post. We even put a cap. So basically it's a 4x4 pressure treated post, and we put a white overlay on it, PVC overlay, and we put a cap on it, sort of to dress it up a little. The print will not fade, and that we use. And what I do want to say is that I personally went out and and measured and tried to get on the front corner. So I'm showing you on the one that says 299 Gould Street. Oh, it shouldn't say 299. I think that's, well, I guess it's 299 Gould Street. It's right at the corner. What I'm asking, that's the 3x12 that we're going to put up. What I'm asking is, it's a little hard to manipulate exactly where we placed it, but I want to make sure when it's there that they get some visual. So I just need a little latitude, whether it's a little to the left, I can't tell you precisely, or if you a little to the right. There's that electric box on the right. So, but basically that's where they wanted it, right on the corner, and that's where we are showing it. And then we just put the two little ones at each entry.
Okay, so the one on the corner is uh, is how it's indicated on the plan is really where
Correct.
you'd like to put it. And it was, the rendering is probably not exact.
Right.
Okay. And then we have the two at the entrances, which are now down to 12 square feet.
Correct. So I think we did everything you asked us to.
Yep. I have a couple questions, but I will let the members start. I guess I'd two sort of general questions. Do you have independent living units there now at all?
Correct, they do,
Okay.
but the building they're concerned with, it, okay, yeah, they do, and they do have some independent living. In the, I think it's one Gateway.
But the building that's really on the corner there is going to be entirely renovated and a floor
Slightly
added to it. Because we
renovated.
actually saw that project a while back
Okay,
and reviewed that. Is that correct?
yes,
So, so it currently has no independent living in it at all until the construction's done.
correct.
Okay,
There is nothing in there. It's empty.
okay, you got it up. Okay, Steve, why don't I start with you?
Yeah, it looks like you addressed the issues we discussed. Are the signs illuminated? I don't remember.
No,
Okay.
no,
I really don't have any questions. It looks like you addressed everything we talked about. The locations, you sort of went from 2 to 1 on for the larger sign in that corner. So no, I'm good. Actually, the only comment, and I don't want to repeat it, I mentioned it earlier. If you're really promoting, this is just a visual opinion, independent living, that is really kind of the insignificant part of the signage. I would think that's what you want, but that's up to you. You know what you want to promote.
I actually agree with you. However, the designer, the marketing person at Wingate is the one that selected it, so I'm not,
Okay.
I can't argue with her.
Yeah, and
I did say that. Funny, because I agree with you. It should be much bigger. But
okay. No. So I'm good.
All right, Bob.
Yeah, excuse me. Let's see here. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, I think this is better. So thank you for listening to us last time. We appreciate that. And I think you spoke to this, but I just want to be clear. I'm looking at our PDF. And if you look at pages 3, which shows the plan with the sign at the corner with a blue line.
Yep.
And then if you look at page 4 with a smaller plan with a sign at the corner, they're in different places. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that. I agree with how we have the 2 small ones at the driveways and then the one
Right.
at the corner.
I'm not sure if I follow your question. Basically, one, if I am on Highland Street at that entry, that's gonna go right on. I think that's
I'm talking
What's
about the
this?
corner of Gould and
So
Highland.
Sandy, there are 2 site plans. There are several site plans in here, but one of them shows the corner sign adjacent to the right of the existing Wingate sign. And then the sign, then there's a site plan with where there's a diagram of the sign that shows it in front. So we're gonna, I'm assuming that it's the one with this, well, let me, just give me a second here, let me share it.
Thanks, Mark.
I feel. Are we talking about the one on 248 Gould Street?
No, the corner of Gould and Highland.
Oh, oops, what did I just do? Wait a
So
second.
see here, this is me.
Oh, that's you?
See the
Okay.
sign?
Oh, yeah,
See
yeah,
where
yeah.
that sign is indicated?
Oh, okay, so there, yes.
And then the next page, it's shown in front. So
Well,
I'm assuming that this is the one you want.
I want to go in front, yes. So we
Okay.
want to go as low so you don't miss the sign, but this is where I'm asking, just, we might play with it. It's gonna go right there, but we
I
might move it
understand.
over.
Yeah.
you
Yeah, we're
know.
not gonna hold you to a 6-inch
Okay.
limit dimension, so that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
But we need to correct that.
Okay,
the signs are actually correct. Or, you're showing it in two places, so only one, we're only gonna approve one location.
Oh, I am showing it. Okay, this is the locate, well, the one that, this is the one.
This is
I
where you
want.
want it.
Yes, it is. Sorry about that.
Okay, Bob, anything else?
No, thank you. That's all for now, Mark. And just, will we specify, or is it already in the bylaw about how long this will be up before they have to come back to us?
We're gonna specify that, so
Great,
we'll
thank
have,
you.
we'll have a little discussion after we finish
Okay,
looking
good.
at it. I am. Well, I'll leave this shared while we've got it. I agree with Steve. We're not gonna make you do that, but I'm concerned that this is actually not gonna be very successful, because if you're trying to tell people that you now have independent living available, this doesn't do it.
Okay, so I totally agree with you, and let me ask you this. Do you care, if I can encourage them to change this graphic? You don't really care, as long as whatever they put up there, it's in that place, and it's with the white posts, and it's the same size, is that correct?
Well, I would.
And they're not gonna
still-
put up something stupid, they're
know.
very sophisticated, but I'd like to see them change this, I would like not to have to come back and.
Well, I think we can approve this as a concept, and you can go ahead and put these up if you want. I
Okay,
would ask that if you do decide to change it, that we just take a look at what the design of it is, so that we have it on the record that we looked at it.
okay,
But
in other
that's
words,
up to you. You could put these up, and then I think we're gonna have a short, not a 3 or 4 month time frame to where we're gonna ask you to come back. And at that point, you may have decided that, yes, indeed, we do want to change them, and then you can propose the alternatives.
okay.
Um,
What I'm asking, is, when I speak to them, don't forget. I sort of I rushed them to give me the graphic that they wanted. I said, I need this, whatever. So I'd like to review with them and say, is this really what you want? Or
Yep.
can you just do a different graphic? And all I'm asking is, as long as if they do change that, so maybe to increase independent living, which I think they should, like you say, to make it more bold somehow. My question is, do you care if it's very similar to this, if they change the design of the 3x12?
yes, we care. So,
Care.
but
You want this up?
we're not going to give you I wouldn't expect that as you saw tonight, if this is the way you want to do it, that's, we're not going to tell you to do something else. We just suggest from our experience, this may not be as successful as you hope, because it's the smallest writing on the thing is the part that you're trying to promote. So we have some doubts, but it's up to
I
you
agree
to change it. So, but you can't just do something else completely and not have us look at it. But as you can see, this is going to take up 20 minutes of your Monday evening. So we try and be as helpful as we can on this process.
Okay.
Um,
If they decide to change it and make independent, can I send it to you for review? And you can look at it and make sure that it's,
Why don't we do this? You can send it to Elisa and I will look at it. And if it's just a de minimis sort of change, then we'll go ahead. But I'll be determined if it kind of becomes more significant, then we'll ask that the public have to have a chance to see it, because this is a special permit.
Right.
So we want to make sure the people that may be interested in this get a chance to see it.
okay,
That's really kind of the limitation here, Sandy, is that it's the special permit process is a little stricter than just a standard approval.
got you.
So have you started construction?
No, I would never start without getting permission.
Not for the signs on the building?
Oh, I don't know that, I'm just a sign person, so I don't know what
Okay.
they've done internally.
That's refreshing to hear, Sandy, by the way.
So because really I have two concerns with time frame. We do want to put these up and get you back in after, typically it's 60 days, but these are more significant signs. It's going to be a little bit longer term. I'm willing to say 4 months. But I'm hesitant to have you put up these signs before you're even actually doing anything. If you could be 6 months away from construction and the sign is sitting there and the process is just going to drag on and on. So that's one of my concerns. So, but if you don't know when that's happening, then I
I
can't,
do
you
know
know,
one thing. I do have one piece of information, at least this is what I was told at an early meeting, that they want to get the signs up there so they can get people make it get people interested so that they can get the funding so that they can move forward. So one of the goals was to let people know ASAP.
chicken and egg issue again, Bob. Here we are.
Yep.
So I'd be interested in the board members' thoughts on time frame.
You said, well, if we're not sure what's happening at the site, why don't we give them 3 months, and then if nothing's happened, then we review at that time. You know, that could be an interesting data point.
We
If
can-
they start building and they're getting interest, that's a different thing, but and if it's 60 days, that's what, 2 months, so I would suggest 3 months.
Yeah, it's our, a temporary sign by right is 60 days, but we can extend that under the
Okay.
special permit process.
All right, well, then I could go to 4
Would
if
you
that,
4
yeah.
months? Would you be willing to do 4 months?
Yeah, well, Sandy, let us talk.
yeah, I mean, I could be convinced, but I think Mark's point is valid about the potential for just plain advertising with nothing going on there. And I understand the need to get people so they can build the building to have people move in, but I'm glad it's a fixed time, so then we can all re-meet again. It might be great. We just move on from there. So
Yeah.
I could be happy with 4 months, Mark.
Steve?
I'm good with that also.
Okay, yeah, and I'm actually, thinking about it now. If we do that and just let them put it in, once it's in, that'll start the time for reviewing it the next time in. So, but I would assume then now that you would be back there in April, end of April, to again, just to discuss it. And that at that point we'll I think you do have an abutters list that you mailed to.
Yes.
I think at that time it doesn't have to be the return receipt requested kind of thing, but if you would just send a letter to the same range of abutters that says we're having a secondary review to update the board on what's going on. So, right, so we'll have 4 months, a letter to abutters, just a simple, a straight letter.
But what might I say that we,
Well,
Yeah,
you could put I wouldn't make it sort of you were given zoning description, just say we have a special permit for this sign. It is being updated with the design review board. We will be at the meeting, whatever meeting we finally set, and you can do that. Well, Lisa will help set that in April with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lisa?
Yes, I froze there, I think.
Okay. Just so that people know again, I've tried to follow things in my neighborhood at times and when they get continued and pushed out, it's impossible to figure out what date they're going to the ZBA versus the Conservation Commission versus the Planning Board, because they just continue them, and if you don't catch one meeting, you're lost in the woods. So that would be helpful. Okay, so I think given those two conditions, that we start at 4 months and then come back for review, that they send a letter saying that they're coming back for review. I would take a motion to approve the
So
signs
moved.
with those conditions.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, and we come to the vote. Bob Dermody,
Yes.
Steve Dornbush,
Yes.
and the chair approves. All right, thanks, Sandy.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
very-
Sandy.
Thanks a lot.
this. Okay, and the next item on the agenda is the signage at 317 Chestnut Street, coin and jewelry buyers. It's Nicole.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to take us through what they want to do? I'm going to put my screen back. I'm going to put the screen back up so everybody can see it.
Okay. There was a fresh and clean sign on the front of the building. They'd like to replace that with the coin and jewelry buyers. It's a non-lit, just an aluminum sign. It's like they call it a aluminum pan sign. It's like an inch thick. And then they'd also like to do some vinyl letters or vinyl words, just at the very bottom. It's about 8 inches of each of the windows. Just, saying what they do, kind of. They'll just to show you, the only part that's going on the window is the white letters and the black. The other is the actual windows. They're
Okay.
not putting anything on there. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I had to clarify it for myself, so that's why I thought I'd say it for you guys.
Well, I thought-
And that's it. That's what we're trying to go for today.
Okay. Bob, you want to start off?
Yeah, sure. Thanks,
Questions or
Mark.
comments?
And thanks, Nicole. Fresh and clean, so the new proposed sign will not be illuminated, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, so fine, not illuminated.
there is an existing light fixture. Are you not using that? Are you removing that?
Um,
I'm showing it here.
That's a good image, Mark, because the two signs are in really odd locations. Both of them,
Yeah.
each end of they almost overlap the eave, the rafter board.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually suggest maybe we talk about proposing centering this coin and jewelry sign over the door. And so we have the light issue, the location issue, and then one other thing I had, and I was still going through it. It's a lot of words on this sign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words.
mhm.
Maybe, I believe gold, silver coins, currency. I haven't found watches yet, are all on those 8-inch bands in the windows. So maybe you just have in the main sign, Needham coin and jewelry buyers, and then use the window signs to advertise all those 5 words at the bottom. Or
Okay.
maybe I shouldn't say advertise, but display those 5 words at the bottom.
Yes, Nicole, the town's sign bylaw is really written to identify a business in a location, and not for promotional purposes for the most part. Now, we recognize that occasionally there are, businesses that have a generic name that you don't really know what they are, and then so we allow some of that here. But I do think that that's a pretty strong identity with coin and jewelry buyers.
Yes. Now, so what do you think about, is it okay if we have the window lettering then on the bottom there?
Yeah, that's you're allowed to put a window graphic in
Okay.
25% of the window area or less, and those sort of qualify for that perfectly well.
Okay.
Okay, Steve, you have.
I agree with everything that was just said. It'd be good, simplify the sign, so just the name. As far as location, I know Susan had brought that up also, and I'm assuming I think it would look better over the door, a little bit further to the right. But then, is it going to look awkward with the other sign where that is?
Yeah,
Is
good
it too
point.
late? Is it too late to move that sign also, to request that company moves it? Ideally, both signs would be kind of more over the door. So I think that's more of a question than a comment. I see what I think. I don't like to assume, but I will assume here that the sign the previous sign was there just to balance the other one. So, I
think we have
definitely don't want it touching the edge though. In this, it looks like it's overlapping.
Although that could be the light.
Yeah,
It's a little hard. with the
right,
light.
you're right. I bet you it is the light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well,
have
historically, this building has, when they get a tenant upstairs, there'll be a sign in the middle again. And
Okay.
we've allowed ourselves to be restricted by the placement of those light fixtures. We haven't made them move them. We haven't tried something else. So
Okay.
that's really why it is the way it is now.
Then I'm good with it.
Me
The
too.
Fresh and Clean people I thought we asked them to center it under that light, and they clearly, it didn't quite do that, and it may be too big to do that. So that's one of the advantages, I think, of Bob's suggestion. If we look at this sign and remove the words on the bottom, then it could go down to maybe 18 or 20 inches.
Mhm.
We don't have to take all of that space back, but if that turns to black, say to here, then we've got a smaller panel and you'll be able to slide it over under that light. Well, then my first thought was also to center it over the door, but
Yeah.
the light's a problem.
Yeah, and Steve's right, and you're right. If the signs on the other end aren't going to move, because we can't make them move them now. So
That's cost us, yeah, we're not, that's been there before we existed.
yeah.
Can I just throw it out there
Yep.
just in case the customer turns around and comes back?
Okay,
With, if they take that bottom line off that says gold, silver coins, currency and watches, they may want the other words a little larger.
You mean
So they-
coin, jewelry, and buyers?
the thing in the
Yeah, they
window,
might want to use the same 22-inch sign and just make the the coin and jewelry buyers a little larger and utilize the bottom.
Do we have a size of the letters, the
you know, the
capital?
size of the lettering, Susan?
Yeah, the C and the O.
Sorry, Nicole. What's that?
No, I don't know the size of them specifically. Is there a limit as to what the height's supposed to be?
We usually do that by a visual, how well it fits the sign panel, the negative space, the size of lettering is
Right.
too jammed up. So
Mhm.
I think it looks perfectly fine.
Mhm.
But if we don't know the size, I hate to say you could make them a half an inch bigger or an inch, but I don't know what they are now. If they're already at 12, then I would say, no, you don't really need to do more. They're going to be plenty visible, but
Okay.
I'd like to just see it, the bottom be black with that gold band returning underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd like to make two comments if I can jump in.
Yep.
Right, if you remove the words at the bottom, have a little more black below the word buyers, and continue the gold band around to enclose the sign. And another thing, and maybe minor, but I think the ampersand is way too big. It's not the most important word in the sign, and it's huge, I think.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, if it was smaller than the letters, I think it would help. Everybody reads it without thinking, right? You see coin and jewelry, I think it could be smaller.
Okay.
Those are my comments, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. So you could suggest the ampersand be the lowercase letters such as they are. It's matching the C and the J. It could match the other letters. Or be
Mhm.
slightly small.
Or even, yeah, just a touch smaller even, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Nicole, I don't, without knowing the size of those letters, I can't tell you that, normally we could approve it with an option to increase those a little bit, but I don't want to guess.
Okay.
What I would say is that if you want to make the bands and the windows 10 inches, that would be fine. Those
Okay.
panels.
Instead of the 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see, let me get the conditions here. So I recommend, I take a motion, we approve this with the following conditions: that the ampersand be shrunk to a smaller size than the smaller letters.
You want it smaller than the smaller letters?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll leave it to you to just get it slightly under.
okay,
That we remove the gold, silver coins, currency, and watches from the main sign. And that the shrine sign height be changed from 22 to 20 inches. And that then the gold, that the rest of the sign is black with that gold band continues underneath.
mm-hmm. So you said shrink it to 20 inches,
20
you said?
inches, 20 inches.
Okay,
And then you should be able to center it under the light fixture, which I'll also add. Or remove the light fixture, and then you'll have a little more flexibility. All right, I'll give you the option,
okay,
but I don't think they're going to want to do that. Okay, and the last one is that the window graphics could be increased to 10 inches high.
okay.
So that's the motion.
I will
those
make that
conditions.
motion as read by the chair.
And I will move the motion.
You second?
A second.
Okay, thanks.
It's already moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Second.
then we vote Bob Dermody,
Yes,
Steve Dornbush,
Yes.
and I approve with those conditions. All right, thanks, Nicole, and we'll get
Thank
All
you.
some,
right, thank you.
we'll send you a marked up version of what we just talked about on these documents so that you can have something physical to go by.
Okay, great.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Seem to be doing all the sharing of
You're
screen
doing-
control lately.
you're doing great, Mark.
Yeah.
All right, so a motion to approve the minutes of December 4th.
So moved.
So second.
Okay, and we vote Bob Dermody,
Yes.
Steve Dornbush,
Yes.
and I approve. So, we're one of the few boards that has our notes approved and posted quickly. So I appreciate Elisa getting all that done for us.
And Elisa, who does our transcribing again?
Kristen Patinode.
Chris, okay, well, tell her I said thanks, because that is a big deal. Having had to do it once or twice in my life, I've realized.
Yeah, she's great and she's doing it for several committees in town.
Oh, well, then we want to be really nice to her.
I have a question. I didn't want to bring it up with Wingate to open up a can of worms. It's just curious.
Are we still recording?
Yes.
Okay, let me take a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
And we come to the vote. Bob Dermody,
Yes.
Steve Dornbush,
Yes.
and I'm yes.